Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show on ET now. Well, it's time for our Spend with TMS segment, and this time around, we thought of touching base with Nikhil Chawla, the founder of the Unbiased Blog. We haven't got in touch with him for our latest dose of technology that we must have in our hands. So, Nikhil, thank you so much for joining us today on The Money Show. I think lots to discuss, really. Firstly, we have lots of new phones, again, in the budget category from MI and Redmi. We have something very interesting that's being launched by Xiaomi as well, uninstalling system apps. And then in the extremely premium category, a foldable Huawei phone. I'm not sure which one should we discuss first, but what are you watching out for the most in the next couple of months?
I think it's going to be the budget category. And as we saw that so many launches happened during the pandemic, and everybody is very much dependent on smartphones, be it a child's education, your work, or everything. A lot of people are dependent on that smartphone, and especially because this is something that everybody's trying to buy. And some people are also buying dedicated smartphones in the category of 10 to 15,000 rupees for their kids for like an education phone, just for studies and all. So that's where I think the crux is. This is what we should be talking about. And as you mentioned, so many launches, so many options now, and we'll be seeing a lot more options happening throughout February, because this is when the MWC used to happen, the Mobile World Congress in Spain, though it won't be happening at this time of the year. But again, it will go on, and we'll see a lot of launches because the companies were prepped up. So we'll be seeing a lot of launches. And as you mentioned, we have great phones from Xiaomi, POCO, Mi, Samsung, Realme, a lot of phones coming from Motorola too. I think it's better to find out what features do you need, what specs do you need. But again, starting with the Samsung MO2S is one of the best phones in that category. Then you can, get the Redmi 9 series, which is again, a deal breaker for most, because, Redmi phone that offers everything. Then there is POCO series, which is very much, in sync with the youth. They really like the POCO series. It is trendy. It got great features, and especially the new POCO phone is definitely to look out for if you like, great looking devices. The yellow color is really eye catchy. Got great set of features, cameras. And again, then if you are somebody who would want something like a Motorola or a Nokia, then you have options in that also. So a lot is happening in the budget category, and it's good for consumers because we get so many options. And that's the reason I think we'll be very busy this month.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want to actually talk a bit more on that point that you spoke right about in the beginning, Nikhil, that as we're all working from home, I think we've gotten more and more dependent on our gadgets. I have seen more instances of people roaming around with two phones than I did earlier, even though I think many phones used to come with this whole dual SIM thing. But now I think it's become very common to see people have a work phone and then a home phone. So, and I'm sure, when it comes to that extra phone, people will want to look at that, that budget category. But again, you don't need all your fancy specifications like you do when it comes to your main phone. So what would, if it's just a basic desk job that people are doing from home, what in terms of specs do you think should people look out for?
I think rightly pointed out, we've seen a lot more people with two phones, and it's a good thing because, you're not messing up your personal data with your work data. And if you can keep two devices, it's a great thing to do. Keep your logins of your personal Facebook, Twitter and all on one device, and a work device dedicated to that email, and nobody else is playing around with that device. So that's important, especially when you're at home. Like I'll press that point also, parents have to give their phones to kids, younger kids, and, people who are not very savvy with technology, and they try to mess it up. So it's good to have two phones, one for work. And if you're looking at a work phone, I think cameras are not of that most important, though most of these camera smartphones come with 3 or 4 cameras, but still it should not be on top priority list. It should be just the basic of you're doing photography and clicking documents and scanning documents. One important thing that you should take care of is that it should have good amount of battery and RAM, so that even if there's a power cut or if you're traveling while using your work phone, it has enough amount of battery. So the good thing is all these budget category smartphones have almost 5,000 to 6,000 mAh of battery, which should last easily for a day and a half. So you're sorted on that front. The other thing you should look out is the RAM, the amount of RAM. Don't go for the 2 GB variants or a 3 GB variant. Try to get more than 4 GB so that you have like a future-proof phone. You're not like thinking it has slowed down in an year. So that's important. Then, according to your budget, you can look at processors. So you can start with as low as Snapdragon 450 or a MediaTek processor and go up to the best that can offer in that segment. So I think the most important thing would be to have something with good amount of RAM and a good amount of space, because some phones do not have a memory card capacity or an option to store things in memory card. So go for like a 4 GB or a 128 GB option. That should keep you sorted for a few years.
All right. Another